6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes. It's an exciting day as the transfer window wraps up to a close in 48 hours' time, or 48 hours, 50 hours, 51 hours' time, something like that. And it's all kicking off again. I did say this, and I did say to everyone, clubs get funny when it comes to near the end of the window. They start getting desperate. The clubs that didn't want to sell are now thinking, we need to sell. So it's going to get very, very, very exciting. There's loads of you in the chat already, which is amazing. We will try and get through everything that we possibly can. I can promise you that. But let's bring Gary in and let's just get into the show because we've only got an hour tonight and we need to get as much as we can in, don't we, Gary?
Mm-hmm. Been an interesting day, hasn't it?
It's been very, very interesting. So I am hanging. I was out last night for a mate's 30th birthday. I'm going to give a shout out to George Welsh because he's a fan of the show and he was in the pub in York and he was just like, I'm sure I know him. I was just like, oh man. But he's one of Charlie's friends it was his 30th birthday. So happy birthday, Charlie. And we've talked for a while. He was like, you find out about things before it comes out. I'm just like, look, we try, mate. We try. It's as simple as that. But a good lad. So a good shout out to George. Get joining in the group, George, so you know what's going on. There's a lot of stuff in the chat already. Let's get behind this lad. Yes, we're going to talk about Gordon. I'm going to get to Warriors in the chat eventually, I promise. But we've got to start talking about stuff. Otherwise, the hour's going to fly by. But if you'd like to become a member tonight, link is in the top of the chat. Remember, we've got the signed shirt to give away from Warren Barton. It's all got the tags on, so this is worth more than I can't believe I'm actually giving it away. But yeah, Steve donated it, so we're going to give it away. I got Warren Barton to sign it, and we're going to give that away next month in February to a lucky member. So the link's at the top of the chat for anyone who would like to become a member for 99p or more, and you get entries into that draw. So we are talking about these two and other things tonight. This was the main idea of the show until all the stuff started breaking. So obviously Gordon has officially signed. Ashby is on his way. That's all we know. The fee's finally been agreed. 3 million, I think, Gary?
Yeah, 3 with add-ons.
3 with add-ons, probably go to 5. So we're going to start talking mainly about Gordon, but it's great that Ashby signed. And don't forget, please check out Newcastle Benfield FC. Great little club. Doors open at 6 o'clock on Wednesday after a draw on Saturday. If you say Baz sent you on the turnstiles, you get entry for £5 instead of £6. So please consider basically going to see them and watch them play. But there it is. There was the official signing. We're delighted to announce the signing on Anthony Gordon on a long-term deal. I believe it's 4 years with an option of another year. Or was it 5 with an option of another
5.
year?
As far as I know, it's 5.
And an option of another year. Obviously, Callum Wilson had a bit of a laugh. He says if you can't beat them, you might as well join them. I thought that was absolutely fantastic on his Instagram. He's obviously met all the players and the gaffer, obviously all the players that he had a bit of a spat with as well. What I liked about this guy, what I heard in his interview was he says, another reason why I wanted to join this group of players is because they're like me. They leave everything on the pitch. They stick up for each other. And that's what he was doing for Everton at St. James's Park that time. And he showed that he didn't want to back down. And he respects the players for it. And I'm sure our players, when you get back across the white line into the changing rooms, they also respected a player for having his heart on his sleeve.
Yeah. Obviously at the time I was thinking bastard, you know what I mean? But yeah, all he was doing
What a
was
little
defending
turn,
his
but he's our
teammate.
little turn now, isn't he?
Aye, and all he was doing was defending his teammates. And
Yeah.
I keep hearing that we've got this tight group and everything like that, which we have. But you can tell some of our players they stick together and they're going to be our souls to win games as well. And he's going to fit right in.
Exactly.
Honestly, he will. Because you know what it is? If there's ever a case where what happened the other day at Southampton, he'll be straight in.
Yeah.
Stand next to Trippier, the whole of them. He's going to be part of the team. And I'm delighted he's signed.
Yeah, me too.
I think me and you were. There wasn't many of them, but me and you were seeing you'd be a good sign in the last thing we were linked with.
Yeah.
And he obviously split the fan base a bit, but I'm
just
delighted.
a tad. I'm delighted, and I always said he's got ability, and that's what I saw when I first saw him play at St James's when we beat them 3-1. I was like, "There's a player in there. There's definitely a player in there."
Yeah,
it's topped the quickest speed in the Premier League this year on a sprint. You know, can you imagine him getting behind the back line with Bruno, Fred, and Pauls through to?
Well, I think that's the plan.
Me too.
And I think maybe this is why we're linked with a midfielder. I know because just get Bruno a bit further pushed up, playing them lovely through balls. Gordon's going to win that ball 9 times out of 10 against a fullback, and then before you know, you're in on goal. Exactly. And I think that's his plan. Looking at all the signings he's made, hence Chris Wood going. He's going for pace on the wings and up front.
Pace, every single one of them.
Massive amount of pace.
And engines.
Isaac, ASM, Miggy, now Gordon, they've all got pace. And
Willock's got pace. People forget how quick Willock is as well, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. Willock, Joe Linton, they've all got pace about them.
Yeah.
And I think that's the plan. Through balls by Bruno and let them go and chase it. And tell you what, we'll score a lot of goals doing that. Because you can't keep up with pace. You can. It doesn't matter how good you are.
Exactly. And it'll keep them deeper, which then gives us a chance to get the likes of Isaac as well. He's no slouch.
No? Well, exactly. Pace isn't everything because you've got Traore at Wolves who's got pace to burn, but he's got the end product, right? But Gordon's different. And I've heard all this shite about him being this and it's a waste of money and all that. Yeah, right. He's 21 years old, right? He was playing for a crap Everton side. And last season, he's probably their best player. This season, I still think he's top in the ranks for most of the things for Everton this season, but apparently he's had a bad season. But Everton are like near the rock bottom. So, you know what it is? He'll excel up here, and his interview was spot on. He was praising Eddie Howe and praising the club. I think the best part was when he said, St James's has got the best arms.
Yeah.
But that went down like a lead.
Yeah, exactly. But he's right. I mean, look at our new canteen as well. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's honestly. Remember, it looked like a
dining hall, wasn't it? Like a school one.
Didn't it? On Ashley, it was like plastic seats and God knows what. It was dreadful. But
it's horrible.
Honestly, yeah, it looks spot on now.
It does. And then there was obviously him getting showed his little spot in the changing room, and it looks like saying, "This is where a plank of wood used to sit."
That's a bit harsh.
It is, and I've defended him for so long, but I had to throw the joke in. You know, it had to be done.
It's a good.
It's a good. Yeah. I'm here all night, guys. Well, till 8 o'clock. This was a great story as well. Apparently, he was spotted and he took loads of photographs with the fans, which is amazing, at the Metro Centre, but he couldn't get a taxi home. So one of the guys' wives offered him a lift to the hotel, and you know that just shows you.
Did he take
a lot of people? I think he did, yeah.
Class.
And I think a lot of people are actually now, because he has signed, are actually getting on board with it. You'll find obviously the idiots on Twitter that we all have in every fan base. But I think 85, 90% of the fan base are right behind him now.
No, they'll back him. They will. You telling me 50,000 Geordies are going to get West Ham next weekend? They're going to sit there and go, I don't like him.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, it's like, you know what it is. You're always going to get the people who don't like him. Moral. But
you get that every fan base. Sean Longstaff always gets stick, doesn't he? Joe Willock always gets stick. There's always someone for an scapegoat, and maybe I think Anthony Gordon's going to be an excellent signing, though.
I'm gonna say it now. 3 months' time, he'll be one of those first team on the team sheet. Yeah. People will be going, oh, if he's got an injury, will be saying, oh, I hope he's not coming back. I hope he's not out long. And I think he's a cracking sign. I think Eddie will get him playing. And you've got to remember who our manager is here as well.
Exactly. So that brings me on to the next bit. So since I heard of the interest, I was always convinced Newcastle were for me. I think the fan base in the city really suits me as a person, and the club just look where they're heading in the right direction. I feel like it's a really big step. And that was a great answer to that question. This one, people haven't seen what I'm capable of yet. I think under the gaffer and the way the club's going, I can really excel here. It's just what you want to hear. It's perfect.
His interview was great. Honestly, I've watched it, and for 21, he speaks quite well.
He does.
And he's obviously, people are going to go on, he wasn't right for doing this, but like you said, he had his reasons, and he said it was too good an opportunity to turn out.
Yeah.
And he was saying good things about Everton. He says, I just hope they invest the money.
Yeah.
I hope I'm helping them to invest the money. And I mean, but they were telling him to get out of the club a week and a half ago.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you want him to do? Like, the minute he gets out of the club, he's an also.
Yeah, he should have stayed, should have fought for the shirt and all that sort of stuff. It's impossible, isn't it? It's a rock and a hard place for him, wasn't it?
Yeah. You know what it is? We've been there. We've been there where players don't want to stay. They didn't want to come because they didn't see a future for the club.
Yeah.
He signed for a club. All I've heard all week is, who's the bigger club, Everton or Newcastle? For piss and hell's sake, stop looking in the past and look to the future.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like he's signed for a club. He's left his boyhood club to sign for a club that he thinks can develop him into a better player in an England regular. And that's why it's come here. Honestly.
Absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. The next one as well, Eddie. I'm delighted to sign Anthony. He's a top talent. I'm really excited to work with him to develop him, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do in a Newcastle shirt. And that's the other thing you want to hear, isn't it? The gaffer saying that, he wants to work with him and develop him, so he knows he's not the finished article.
Yeah.
And this is what Newcastle want, though, isn't it? We want young players with talent that Eddie can get his hands on early and coach them the right way to play the Newcastle way and the Eddie Howe way.
Mm-hmm. Eddie's a genius at developing players and making them better. Since he's been here, there's probably could have put on an A4 sheet of paper the amount of players he's made better at that football club. And Anthony Gordon will be another one. Yeah. It's not very often Eddie Howe doesn't make a player better, right? And I think he's going to excel here under Howe. I think Howe will add goals to his game. I think Howe will add assists to his game. Everything. Obviously, I don't think he's going to be a great head of a ball, but that's not his job.
But you never know, do you?
You never know. But he looks, and I think like I said before, he's going to fit in with his squad because our squad aren't as nice as people make out though.
Our squad's brilliant behind the scenes, and you can tell that with the unity of them when they get on that pitch. They're like brotherhood. And that's the way that it is.
And he's going to fit into that because I tell you what, give him one thing. He stood up to Nick Pope, Trippier, and Shaw that night. There was no sign of another Everton player helping him.
No, it took a while for them to turn up.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like he knows, and seeing the pictures of him going into the change room, it's just hilarious, honestly.
It was.
I hope the club bring the video out there, the medical video, so we can actually see. I hope they do it because I'd love to see him going in, because it would have probably been funny, I would have thought.
Yeah. Honestly, the Everton fans are, the real ones, are probably gutted he's gone because he is a top talent. They're just licking their wounds now because he has gone.
I tell you what, go back 4 months ago, Chelsea put a £60 million bid in for this lad, right? People will go, why didn't Chelsea do it now? It's not because of the season he's had, it's because Chelsea are on a different thing, right? Yeah. So that's how it is. They've bought elsewhere. So I tell you what, half a season under Frank Lampard doesn't make you a bad player, right? It's it's just where the club he's been at, who the manager he is, and that's what's happened. So Eddie will transform.
Yeah, definitely. And then on Ashby, we've been chasing him all window. We thought he had signed because the information we got was that was literally a done deal. Then West Ham were thinking about offering him an improved contract, so that turned his head back to London. It now looks like we've now come up with a fee because West Ham don't want to pay the contract that Ashby wants. We believe it's 2 or 3 million, going up to 5 million on add-ons. And again, he doesn't take, like Gordon, doesn't take a place in the squad. He's 21. He's a right back, and he's going to be an understudy to Trippier, isn't he?
I heard 9 weeks ago of West Ham fans that it was.
Yeah, exactly. I know they've been saying it for weeks.
They were 100%, and obviously we heard different, but they were adamant that he was coming because he still hadn't signed a contract. Yeah. And it drags on and drags on, still no sign of a contract. Now, West Ham fans seem a bit disappointed by it. I've looked at a few of their comments. They're all blaming Moyes, saying Moyes didn't give him a fair go. And I did ask a West Ham fan what he thought of him. And he said, says he's going to be an absolutely great player, Trippier 0.2. That's what he said. Yeah. So he must be able to cross the ball as well. He must be good on the set because he says it's like watching Trippier all over again. So there you go. Perfect replacement for Kieran Trippier.
Yeah. And there's the one about the speed. So apparently Mudrik's beaten by 0.01 of a second.
Yeah.
It just shows you how quick this lad is. And Ashby, like I said, he's going to be absolutely fantastic, isn't he? He's got Trippier, who signed a new contract, obviously, till 2025. Ashby won't be too bothered about that, especially if we get European football. There's going to be cup competitions he can play in, and he's learning from one of England's best.
Yeah, and he's only going to develop his game from that. Plus Eddie Howe's coaching. I keep repeating myself where they are. Yeah. Eddie Howe look, this is what's happening with these young players now. I don't think it's so much abroad, right? Like say Fresneda, for example. But anybody in this country, young players, are going to be thinking, actually, that won't be a bad move for me. Forget about the area and all that. Talking about a 21-year-old lad who's moving up here now. So it wasn't a London thing for him. Anthony Gordon said, no, I've got no problem with moving. So all this stuff about anybody wants to move to the northeast, it's just a lot of bollocks, to be honest. But Trippier will develop him. I mean, can you imagine playing right next to Botman and Shaw and people like that? And that's what's going to happen. And we needed cover for Trippier. And what we were told for weeks on end that it was going to be an upcoming young player. Yeah. They were going to sign at fullback. So that info was right.
Yeah, exactly. Took its time to come, but it came eventually. But we've been banging on about it for God knows how long. And by the way, I'm not wanting to read your comments out. There's just so much in there we are actually going to cover. So we've just got to get to it. I promise you, though, we've got stuff. Mark Lanes, thank you very much for becoming a member. That's really, really kind of you. Just remember, everyone, 99p gets you into a prize draw. We do them once a month. It helps the channel in so many ways. We also put people's names up. Level 1, Level 2, Level 3, and Level 4. So a massive shout out to all you people who are members. I need to update these because there has been quite a few of you joined since I did them. Apologies for the noise in the background as well. My missus is on a Zoom call with our little business thing, so it's very loud. Hopefully she can't hear me. But yeah, thanks for everyone who supports the channel. Please hit the thumbs up button, guys, as always, as well, if you don't mind. It really helps. Gordon, Ashby and Maddison would be a brilliant window. That's what I tweeted out. I was like, yes, please, get that done. But there we go. 3 million including add-ons plus sell-on fee. There we go. It was 20% sell-on fee, I think. Yeah, we'll see. We are going to come to that. I think it's the next talking point, to be honest with you.
Welcome.
Let's get Maddison in tomorrow. Welcome, Maddison. Come on, guys. Hit the subscribe and help the channel out. Yes, thanks, Paul. Appreciate that. Right, so the next one is Jonjo Shelvey. Obviously, this came out of nowhere. Even our contacts didn't know anything about it. And sometimes that happens. which is good because it just shows you not everything gets leaked out, which is amazing. So Nottingham Forest on the verge of signing Jonjo Shelvey. Shelvey is keen to make the switch and is close to return to full fitness after a calf injury. So Forest are obviously taking a bit of a risk here, Gary, because we don't know when Shelvey's going to be back to full fitness, do we?
I think the club have probably told him that he's close. I've saw a few comments in the group and everything about 5 minutes ago coming up, and look, journalists are going to come out and say they're not going to sign this, they're not going to sign that, but nobody was anywhere near this. I mean, if this happened yesterday, not one journalist was anywhere near this.
No.
Right? Possibly it's just happened today. And by the looks of it, Shelvey wants to move, and I understand that because he's out of contract here. Right. Yeah. I'm of the believer of I'm fine with him going. I think he's been a great servant. I think he's been a great servant for us. But he gets 80 grand a week off the books in his wages. He's not the Jonjo Shelvey we had 4 years ago. And he never will be. Can he come in now and play the Eddie Howe press game? I don't think he can.
Not even close.
It's going to be March before he's match fit. And I think it's the right move. I think a replacement will come in. There's probably journalists out there now saying, there's going to be no replacement. Eddie Howe's not going to let a player go without bringing a replacement.
Well, I have heard they're willing to take the risk on this one because he has been injured for a while and we've not missed him, let's face it.
Well,
it'd be nice to have him as an option on the bench, but we haven't really missed him that much. And if he plays one more game, he triggers another year.
Yeah.
So to get that 80 grand off with potential, right, guy, and please don't laugh at me at this because this has come from somewhere else. Because what I've been reading, they're talking about 10 or 14 million.
Yeah, I've heard 14 million.
That's mental for someone he was 30, who's got 6 months left on his contract. We can't say no to that as a club. Even if Eddie Howe disagrees with it and he wants to keep him and there's no replacement coming in, it's like the Chris Wood one. How can you turn that offer down? You can't, can you, really?
No, it's not. You can't turn that down, right? For him, you can't. Right, in a way, I get that. He hasn't played all season. He hasn't started one game this season. No. So he hasn't been a miss, right? But according to Eddie, he said that they needed a midfielder. This is what was told this morning, right? We've been linked left, right and centre. And this was before Shelvey went. I think the Shelvey thing has happened today. I don't think it's been something that they've known about. And I think Eddie's given the go-ahead. George Culkin's just put it out the night that he thinks it's close. That tells me it is, because Culkin doesn't come out and say it unless it's legit. But I can tell you now, Dan Ashworth will be on the phone right now with you and as with whoever, and they will be trying to come up with a solution to replace them.
Oh, we've got names, we've got ideas, but I think what I'm trying to say is that even if we don't get another name in, they're doing this deal because it's too good to be true.
It's too good to turn. Yeah, it's too good.
It's too good for a club. It's too good to turn down. And I know Eddie Howe can say no, but he doesn't run the football club. He's there to manage and coach the team, so he can have a say in it. But I think he'll get overruled higher levels, just like he did with Chris Wood. He didn't want Chris Wood to leave, but he's gone.
But he's gone. But they brought Gordon in. Right?
Eventually, not straight away. So,
but it's even if you could do a loan deal with the option to buy in the summer.
Well, exactly.
Right? And it doesn't have to be a James Maddison, right? It can be somebody who you can get in who's going to be a good squad player, who you can see developing in the future, whoever it may be.
There's a few names.
And I'm trying to think of it. I mean, I've heard a name from a guy from Sheffield United quite a bit tonight.
Burge.
Yeah.
He was someone I'm sure we were linked with a year ago.
Yeah, he was. He was linked under. I think he was linked under Ashley as well. But
so it would have been summer. So it'd be a lot longer than it'd be 18 months ago.
I would be lying if I said I knew loads about him. I don't.
I remember he was linked to Liverpool as well. I'm sure Liverpool were interested in him because he had the season they went down, he was their best player in the Premier League, and that's why we got linked to him as well.
I've heard Fulham, right? But that was this morning. I don't know much about him. I know he scored about 3 goals this season. or 4 goals, something like that. He's assisted about 3. Yeah. But I know very little about him. I couldn't say much more about him. But that type of deal could be a possibility. Because if they do sell Shelvey for 14 and he's 15, well, there you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It could happen, but don't be surprised if they go down the Chris Rigg route or something like that. Just something that I think
we've been chasing him for a while, and I think because he hasn't signed his pro contract yet, has he? Because he's only 15, so there's a very good chance that'll happen in the summer, though, when he's due to sign his first professional contract. He'll have a lot of clubs interested in him.
I mean, look at how quick. Look at how quick. I mean, people will say, "Well, I haven't got much time." Look at how quick this Jonjo Shelvey thing's happened.
Oh yeah, anything can
happen like that. Yeah. It can happen like that, right? And on deadline day, we've seen it, right? Yeah. I know I'm talking about the Mackems here, but I watched that show and they got the Will Grigg deal done at the last minute, and I think they made the bid at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it was very late on.
Yeah, it can get done. Deals can get done very quickly. And it just depends. I think you're more likely to get a deal done in this country. But it's still possible. I mean, man, if rumours are true, Chelsea are trying to do a £120 million deal right now.
Yeah, so they are, yeah.
That's massive. So
we're coming on to that in a little bit.
I think I get where you're coming from, that they're probably thinking they can get away with it. But I would be shocked if there wasn't something.
Well, they're definitely trying. I just think they're willing to take the risk. That's basically what I've heard.
I think it's a big risk, mate, because you play 3 midfielders and all you get an injury. I know you can put Joe. I know Joe Linton's played on the left and vice versa, but the only person that's springing out in my mind right now is Elliot Anderson. He's the only one who's...
Yeah.
I can't think of many others, so you're risking an injury.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a risk, but I think it's like I say, we haven't been able to call on him anyway, and we've had injuries, and we've coped without him. So I think at that money, he's getting a 2.5-year contract, by the way. So that's the reason why he's very interested in this deal, because if he triggers a 1 year with Newcastle, he won't get anything after that 1 year. But if he goes now, he's got security of 2.5 years, which takes him up to him being 32, 33, doesn't it?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised now with the club. I'm not going to mention the name because I know you're going to mention it in a bit later on. But I wouldn't be surprised if the owners are sitting there now talking, where do you go? Should we put the bid in?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Don't you worry about that. Les, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. There's a few other people who have done things and I haven't got to yours yet, but I will get to yours, I promise. Gallagher, Jorginho, Bird from Sheffield United, no guarantee we get anyone, but Shelvey is going regardless. See, Jorginho could be a good short-term
that
option.
Is a good shout. That's a good shout, that one. I don't
think
it's
Chelsea, though.
It depends whether, to be honest, Chelsea are probably a good club to go for, and I think we seem to have a relationship with them. Hence why the owners were at the ground, but it all depends whether Chelsea are going to help us out.
Yeah, it was all off-field interest, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was the thing, so...
But I think Chelsea are probably a club to look at. And that's not a bad shout, Jorginho. I wouldn't have had him 3 weeks ago, but a Shelvey replacement, yeah.
For a short term, maybe a year and a half or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Why not? There was another problem is how he left us was not... Yeah, I agree with that, Stephen. And it's happened to us, and I agree with it. But he was ran out as well, though. That's the difference, I think. I don't know. It's not a nice way to leave, but he has.
I mean, it's like on the Gordon thing. It's like we've been there. We know what it's like.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, it's...
I don't know his wages. Do you know his wages? Have you heard any rumours?
No. I'm willing to bet about 70, but I don't think he'll be up there with Bruno or Trippier.
No, definitely not.
They did give Wood 90, so I wouldn't rule out close to the 100 mark either, but I'm writing about 70, 80.
He thinks will help when I am. Considering a tune top with Gordon on the back for a lap. Get it done. With Shelvey off to Forest, we must be getting Maddie in. That rumour's really going around now, isn't it? Thank you, James, for the £4 super sticker. That's unbelievable. Thank you so much. If anyone would like to donate tonight for cough medicine, dollar signs in the bottom right-hand corner. It really is killing me tonight. Anything's welcome. It's entirely up to yourselves if you want to or not. Imagine Maddison, Gordon, Isaac, Maxi, Bruno, J7 in the same team. It's mental. It is mental. You know, God, a year ago we were dreaming of stuff like this. He's too static and slow. He is now. I mean, he's still got a great pass on him, and I think he'll do well for Forest. But like you say, in our style of play now, we're past what he was.
He's not fit enough. Honestly, he's not. Look, he's probably one of the fittest players out there, right? When it comes to his like fitness. Yeah. But what I mean is, by he's not fit enough, he's getting too many injuries, and it's not him doing what he's doing. It's just his body at the minute, and probably people will tell you that Shelvey's probably the first person who turns up for pre-season training. He probably turns up a week before everybody else, but his body's just given up on him.
Yeah,
honestly,
he doesn't have any pace.
Nah, the way Eddie Howe plays, it's no good for him. Not now, it's not.
Did you get the NUFC sign? Give me a thumbs up.
That lad wants one of the badges. The crest, sorry.
Oh, sugar, they might be sold out.
You joke. That's the bloke I said who wanted one.
Is it? He hasn't contacted me. Oh, mate. You'd have to look. There's my Twitter handle. You'll have to drop me a message and I'll see if Steve's got any spares. But we did actually sell the last one today. You know what Steve's like. There's another 14 on the way or another 24 on the way.
You've been saying by weeks they were going to get sold out. And that was more come back.
Is he on Twitter, Dan? Dan on Twitter?
Don't know.
You have to get him to email me and I'll send him the details or something. Go in the description of the show and you'll see 2 email addresses. Drop me an email, Dan, and we'll see if we can sort you one out, mate. I like Gordon. He's an upcoming talent. Anthony Robinson would be a good left back. Anthony Robinson, do you know him? I don't know. Yes, Jonjo will be a permanent deal to Nottingham Forest. There's no loan in there because he literally contract runs out at the end of the summer, so we have to sell him. Like and subscribe, everyone. Please, Madders. Is Shelvey going to Forest? It's everywhere. This is what we think's happening. He's definitely signing, and they think there's a 10 or 14 million pound fee alongside it, which is mental. Is there any news on Martinez? Is that Vittorio Martinez?
That's him.
So basically, been talking to him and his agent, but it could be a summer deal. That's what Steve's messaged me.
I'd be shocked if they buy him, man, because he's a striker.
Well, we need another striker.
No, we do, but I don't think they're going to spend the need other positions at the minute. Yeah, summer. That's our Aguero, that.
Yeah, there'll be a summer signing if anything, but I have heard the link. I'd get rid of Murphy. I know he's funny, Dan, but I would definitely get rid of him. So he's definitely signing for Forest. It's mental what they're offering. It really is. But that's Forest for you. That's what they've been like. He likes to repeat himself. He likes to see there's a crowd and he likes to talk about what he's accomplished. He's a really nice guy and I talk to him all the time. Hi, lads. Next 48 hours is going to be nerve-wracking. It's not nerve-wracking. This is going to be fun. It's exciting. This is what we've wanted for so many years, to be excited by a transfer deadline day. I'm at work tomorrow, though. I'm gutted. Saw something about neither Ashby nor Gordon getting a spot in the 25-man squad after the window. Any truth in that? No, what it means is they don't take up a spot in the 25-man squad because they're under the age of 23, so they don't take up a place. They're in the squad, obviously. It's just they don't take up a spot in the squad. You can have as many under 23 players as you want to pick from, you see. I honestly think he'll get game time, otherwise there's no point in signing him. He's 21 now. You've got to start throwing him in.
It's according to West Ham fans, he's a bloody good player who will probably, once Trippier starts going down, he will replace Trippier. But that's what I'm hearing from West Ham fans.
Yeah, it's what we've all heard. They're absolutely gutted that he's leaving. Right. Who was next on the list? So that was the Shelvey stuff. The next one is a bit of a left field one. I mean, this was obviously earlier in January, but the links have come back up again. Lovro Maja. I mean, I've heard nothing of it, to be honest with you, Gary. Have you heard anything? But that seems to be doing the rounds.
Yeah. Just a little off what Morrow was saying about him.
Yeah, he's Croatian, and he's Morrow wants him.
Well, I think Morrow said he's a good player, mate.
Right.
But I think Morrow said he was a good player, unless I've gone mixed up with somebody else. But I've heard his name mentioned a couple of times, but that's the first time I've seen it mentioned today. There's a lot of names I've seen mentioned, but his wasn't one of them.
The fee's being agreed. He's on his way. He's probably in Newcastle now. He's doing his medical tomorrow, we believe. I think that's what the medical room was booked out for tomorrow, was for Ashby. So yes, we think he'll be signing. I don't think there's going to be any problems, to be honest with you. Gordon's big asset, along with his speed, is he does use both feet, which is crucial because he can play on either wing. And now we have competition on either side, don't we? And we can also have people switching and changing.
I'll tell you what, unless you've got a quick back four, we are going to cause some chaos, especially at St James's Park this season and next, because we've got so much pace in that team now. It's frightening. Yeah, it's great.
Ashley, thank you very much for becoming a member. I don't know if you've upgraded or you've become a new member, but welcome to the Through Black and White Eyes family. Your name will be, I've got 2 Andy B's now. We love you, Madda. We do, no matter, we love you. Yes, we know he's a 6 and a CDM, but that doesn't mean we're going to be signing a direct replacement. Everyone's got to remember, we're not in a rush to sign a replacement for Bruno to play in that role, because Bruno's doing so well in it. We can wait till the summer if we have to. It's going to be interesting. Right, so Thuram, his name's come back up again, hasn't it? So what do you make of it? Again, it's a striker. I just don't think we're...
Is it the
other Thuram, the defensive midfielder?
This is the defensive midfielder.
Right, then that would make more sense.
Yeah, that would be a quality sign. Honestly, quality sign. But I don't know. I don't know how far along, whether we've been talking or not with that one. But he is a quality player.
I don't think we're spending 40 million on a defensive midfielder, to be honest with you. I think we'd rather spend the money on Maddison. I don't know. We're that far behind on the chat. You could be talking about something we were talking about 20 minutes ago, unfortunately. In the Alvarez, yes, there is rumours in Alvarez. For the record, I believe Gordon was a diver. Yes, he is a diver, and hopefully we'll stamp that out of him a little bit. I want to touch on this very quickly, though, because Chelsea are after Enzo Fernandez. I mean, I would love to see that guy signed for us, but we can't afford 120 million, can we, Gary? Not with FFP, obviously.
I mean, we've got the owners to do it, but do you know what it is? I'm not convinced with this one. Honestly, I'm not. Yeah, I know he was in the Argentina squad, but 120 million pounds.
It's a lot of money for a 21-year-old.
It's a lot of money if he flops, mate. Honestly, it is. And I'm not saying he's going to flop. He is clearly a quality player. But if you compare, McAllister played for Argentina in the same team as him, and McAllister wouldn't cost anywhere near that amount.
Yeah, I would love McAllister from Brighton.
So, but I don't know. I think Chelsea are paying over the top. I really do, for somebody who, he had a good World Cup. He did, but what? Seriously? He's not a Jude Bellingham, is he?
No.
So it's like, that's what I don't get about Chelsea, because they could probably go and buy Jude Bellingham for some. So I don't get why they're not going for him. But let them get on with it. Honestly, there's no plan at Chelsea. They're just buying every name that looks good.
Yeah, pretty much. And then they're doing it all with this, while they've got the chance to put them on 8-year contracts and stuff like that, which is even a bigger risk, isn't it?
I mean, you know what it is? Can you imagine? I mean, you have a look at their players they've signed, right, the last 6 months. I cannot wait to see them lot playing. Just say St James's Park on a cowl Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Honestly, right, fair enough, Mudrick, right? Because, he's used to that. But honestly, not for me. There's no plan at Chelsea. Yeah, they're going to win games, but no plan at all. There'll never be a Man City or an Arsenal around like that.
No, definitely not.
Not going on the way they are.
Yeah. Stephen Watson, thank you very much for becoming a member and welcome to the Through Black and White Eyes family. That's amazing. Remember, guys, links at the top of the chat if anyone wants to become a member. And we've got a lovely shirt signed by Warren Barton to give away next month to one lucky member. Alvarez is on his way. So obviously the Alvarez links are very strong at the moment, Gary. Obviously there's playing spotters out again. I've been told inquiries made to Chelsea about the availability of a loan. Obviously, we mentioned a loan just till the end of the month to cover for Shelvey. Obviously, Chelsea have got Loftus-Cheek, Gallagher and Ziyech all looking to leave and because they need space in their squad. I mean, would you take any of them on a 6-month loan for Shelvey's replacement?
Gallagher.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying they wouldn't take Gallagher.
Oh, I would. I think there's a player in him. He works and hard as well. Yeah, he gets bookings, but what's that?
It's not a name I've heard because he plays for Wickham, so that's why I probably haven't heard him. But there we go.
Yeah, I would take Gallagher definitely. I don't think that'll happen unless they assign Fernandes, but it all depends what Chelsea. To be honest, I mean, I was convinced Chelsea were going to sell a lot of players this month because of what they're doing, but there's no sign of any of them going out the door. They must have a squad of 42 right now.
Yeah.
So some of them are not getting picked for, and you're talking about big players who aren't going to be in the 25-man squad. Like big names. So
he's on 80 grand a week apparently.
That's what I thought. I can see. I cannot see Ziyech. Honestly, I cannot. I think that one's gone. I think he probably would come, but we don't need him. It's just another winger. We've got enough wingers now. I think we're fine with what Gallagher's the only one happy.
I think Bruno sit deeper until the end of the season. To be honest with you, I really do, and I think we'll look in the summer. The other one is Maddison is still our number one target, though, and we're pushing hard. Now, I honestly think that is the signing we really want to make. And I know he's not a replacement for Shelvey, but what you've got to remember, guys, is Trippier's our only free kick specialist, and he plays at right back. We need somebody a bit further forward who can. I know Bruno can create, but he doesn't take free kicks. He doesn't take corners. Bruno is great at what he does, but I think Maddison is the missing link that we have from turning those draws into wins.
Well, I was having a discussion with somebody, right? And that was the play I was on about. I wouldn't be surprised if they're talking now thinking, let's put the bid in.
Yeah.
But I keep hearing that we're going to wait till the summer for rules and right, that's a few months away. What difference is that going to make by doing it now? You just don't do it in the summer. You just don't spend whatever it's going to take to get Maddison here in the summer. And I stand by this. I think we've got a better chance of getting Maddison now than we have in the summer.
I do as well.
Yeah.
Dan, there's 2 email addresses in the comments. Drop me an email, mate, and we'll try and sort you out. There's no way those crests are going away. I'm not doing them again. No. When you're getting your yellow freewheeler badge, what am I getting?
Only fools and horses.
Oh, only fools and dairy, yeah. Should have got that, but I'm tired. Been watching Everton since the late 60s. Don't rate Gordon and his attitude stinks. Interesting, Roy. I liked his interview, and I guess we'll see what happens. But hopefully you guys can invest the money and save your season, basically, because you've done the right thing by canning Lampard because he was taking your club nowhere. And I hope you do survive, because I like the rivalry in the Premier League, and we like the 6 points as well, to be honest with you. But thanks for tuning in, Roy, and joining in. Maybe Ashby threw a few quid on the table for negotiating with West Ham for Ashby, and he said, let's talk about rice. Rice and chips. Cheers, Paul. Appreciate it as always. I don't have LinkedIn, mate. I don't know. I just don't have time to do all that sort of stuff. I might have a look at it on Tuesday when I'm off. Oh, no, wait a minute. I'm streaming all day on Tuesday. Tuesday's going to be a fun day. Hope Shelvey doesn't score 30-yard screamer against us. That's the other thing I'm a little bit worried about, because He's obviously not going on loan, so you'll play against us. It's like shit.
Right. Right. Hold on.
Happening.
It's Jonjo Shelvey. It's not a Jonjo Shelvey when you. Do you know what it is? Never. You know what it is? I've always thought he was a good player, but he's never been in my top 5. Since the day we've had him, he's never been one of my favourites. Really? I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why. I can't explain it, mate. I just can't. I think he's been a great servant forward. And yeah, he scored some cracking goals. I think the one at QPR sticks out for me.
Yes, that was a 5-0 win, wasn't it? Away from home or something like that. 5 or 6-0, can't remember.
You know when some players just, you like them, but you wouldn't, they're not one of your main top players. He's one of them for me. I don't know, I can't explain it. I think he's a good player, but that was 3-4 years ago. And I remember when he was getting linked with a move away, and I wasn't bothered at the time. So I'm definitely not bothered now. And good luck with him, though. He's been a cracking servant for where he stuck through in the championship.
That's why I liked him. I like watching him play, to be fair. This is what worries me with Maddison, that Spurs might come in. And I know we're favourites to sign him, but if we wait till the summer, there might be more suitors as well. And we've got to finish top 4 if we want to have a chance to sign him. So I think we've got to strike now. It's 50-50, but I think it's actually more 70-30 now. You know what I was like with Botman, guys? I was like a dog on heat. And I'm like this with James Maddison. I want him, and I'm not giving up on it. Yes. Gordon's missus is on fire. Brilliant. Who, in your opinion, do you think we're going to get? I still think there could be two deals on the table for us, not including Ashby. I think that's already done. So I class Gordon and Ashby is done. I still think we could get another 2, Gary. And I think one of them would be Maddison. And then one of them could be like a Gallagher loan or something like that.
I thought 1 this morning. Since Shelvey's gone, possibly 2. I'm still going to go for 1. Who would I put my money on right now? Listening to rumours. It's Alvarez or Maddison for me. It's one of them 2.
Yeah, Alvarez and Maddison would be perfect.
Yeah. I think Gallagher's a possibility, but I'm still not convinced Chelsea are going to give us players. Right, and
that's interesting.
Oh, well, he was.
It could be Fulham, couldn't it?
But he was talking to Fulham this morning, right? I cannot see us of selling Shelvey, then immediately getting on the phone to sign him. That doesn't make, because I don't think he would have been on a list like top 5 list. So I'd be shocked if we go for him. I mean, we might, but I'd be shocked. But I think it's 1. But it could be anyone. I've heard Coney's name mentioned.
Yeah, his name's been mentioned again as well.
So it could be anybody, to be honest, at the minute. I mean, I've just
Ben
saw
Jacobs
that.
says Conor Gallagher on loan.
Yeah.
I mean, a loan would make sense for 6 months, wouldn't it? Just to give us a chance to regroup for this summer and have an extra body in.
I'd be shocked if Chelsea don't say to Newcastle, look, if you loan him, this is what we want. And there's something very similar to what we've done with Chris Wood. I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea want that type of deal. Yeah.
Yeah, an obligation to buy potentially. Yeah. Fraser, we believe, is meant to be going to Everton, but it's gone quiet. So it's a bit of a strange one. Chelsea. See, the thing is, though, we have to be like Chelsea and Man City in the future, though, don't we? We have to be getting all this young talent in and having a bigger squad, because what they've done, I think someone mentioned it a while ago, it's like Chelsea had made 89 million off selling off their youth talent that weren't going to make it, but they sold them off the Championship clubs and League One clubs, and they made a lot of money out of it as well.
That's what we need to do, but we're getting rid of the Chris Woods and the Shelveys now, and what people forget is they're on a lot of money a week. Them two were some of our top earners, and they weren't playing.
Yeah. exactly.
And this is what they're doing. I tell you what, in the summer there'll be a massive deal. You'll see the back of Lascelles, Ritchie, Dummett. All of them will be gone in the summer. And you're going to have to replace them. People are going to say you're going to replace them with Scott. I think they'll replace them with top youngster. And I don't know if anybody watched Kowal the day. I did. I watched him. He's lively as hell. He's not frightened to stick his foot in, and he's a complete pain in the arse. And he should have scored. He should have scored. He's quick. He frightens defenders.
Good.
Because of his pace. And
it'll come.
It'll come with him. But that's what we need. We need more of him to come in and replace what's going to leave in the summer. And it's going to be young players coming in. Like, say, Ashby's.
Who's this? Account club ambassador on Twitter?
Yeah.
I don't even...
He's the one who thinks, well, I think that's somebody who potentially works at the ground. Or works
right. I think I might have seen that. I don't really know if I follow him, to be honest with you.
He is the one who has said that Alvarez was coming.
Yes, I think I remember seeing the tweet now. I don't follow him. I try not to follow other people who say that they're in the know, because then it just, I don't know, like, I just don't like it. I like to stick with who messages me, and I don't get excited by other people, because you just don't know, do you, Gary? I mean, we go mental in the chat at times, but there we are.
Well, I think I've heard 12 different names, and I think four of them are legit. I think 4 of them are legit. I'm not. I mean, I've heard some. What was the best name I've heard? Player who plays in France. And I'm thinking, why would we be after him? Anyway, I've heard a few of them, and I just, I wouldn't rule Rig out, mine.
Maddison and Rig would be class. Yeah. And I think that could happen just because I see he's a Geordie and he wants to. I think he wants to come. But they've signed Tete, haven't they? And they're also looking to bring in Harrison. So they're not risking relegation if they're signing quality players to replace them. So they've also got to think of their financial side of things. He's only got 18 months left on his contract, and he's not signing a new one. So I repeat
myself for Leicester all the time. Do you know what it is? They could well keep a hold of Maddison. They could, because they're that type of club. They keep a hold of the best players and let them run their contracts down when they bugger off and out. I just don't get it. Honestly, I don't get the way they run. I know they got rid of Fofana, but potentially losing Tielemans and Maddison for absolutely that's just, you cannot do that.
No.
Honestly, you can't run football clubs like that.
Carl Craig said this last time when we signed Isaac. So I wouldn't believe what he's saying. He knows there's money there.
Yeah, right, hold on. I'll tell you what Craig Hope said at the start of this month. He thought there would be a midfielder coming in, but it wouldn't be a high fee. Well, that rules Anthony Gordon out. Right? Ashby. Look, do you know what it is? How do they know? Because remember, not one of these journalists was anywhere near Jonjo Shelvey. Not one of them. I'll tell you what, Luke seems to be the only one at the minute. I think he's getting lucky, but Luke seems to be the only one who keeps getting a little bit of info. Yeah. And there's a few, not one of them broke Ashby. It was an account who I've been following for about 2 weeks now, who got Gordon and he got him. I can't remember the name of him, but he said it this morning. Ashby was coming, and then all local journalists half an hour started putting it on. Even Downey put it on. But this kid got it first.
Yeah, and that was that Newcastle Figgy Bob thing account, wasn't it?
There was another. I can't remember his name now. I put it on the group today saying give this lad a follow because he keeps starting. He's getting a lot right. But they're right coming out and saying bloody. Oh yeah, like the board have come out and told the local journalists now we're not signing anybody else.
Yeah,
they're bloody keeping it in. It's not the way Ashworth and Eddie work. They keep it in the close-knit group.
Yeah, we're not getting Enzo. Chelsea are getting Enzo. We just wanted to talk about him because of the ridiculous price that was there. Let's have a look. Question for you, Gary. Is the Premier's a bullet of foreign players? I like the English element coming in, but don't we need top talent for them to learn off? We do have top. We've got Bruno.
Yeah.
But Joe Linton.
Well, I think it's got to be a particular player for Eddie to go abroad.
Yeah.
And I think if you look at the 2 players that he has, well, the 3, sorry, all 3 of them speak well. They're cracking footballers, and they're all, the 3 of them, they look like they fit right into the group, and that's Botman, Isaac, and Edwin. They're spot on the way they fit into that group. And I think if Eddie's going to buy somebody, it'll have to be somebody who fits in with the team mentality.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
And they'll have scouted them. That's the problem. I think they scout them for a while. And I don't know if there could be somebody lined up from abroad. It could be, but I'm not sure at the minute. It'll be easier to do a deal in this country. But
I mean, they are a lot easier to do deals with, but like I say, Eddie wants players who can hit the ground running, don't they? And that's what he likes about it. Just completely reiterate, we are not getting Enzo. Chelsea are signing Enzo, and I wanted to talk about it because of the fee. That's the only reason why we brought it up, and we would like to see him in a Newcastle shirt. We'd like to see Jude Bellingham in a Newcastle shirt, but it ain't happening. Read that we might go for Alves, but surely that's too much hope for, especially at this late stage. No, it's never too late. Never too late. Like I say, a deal can happen within hours. So please keep an eye out.
Remember the takeover? Something happened on the takeover. Then a day later, the funds were transferred and the club was bought within the space of 1 day, and that was a football club. Right? So, honestly, deals can happen very quickly.
Yeah. Cava's another player I would love to see in the Newcastle shirt as well. Napoli. Yep. Cava. I can't pronounce his full name. You know who I mean. The left winger.
I've heard his name mentioned loads of times, but that was always summer. Nobody's leaving. I tell you what, if you heard anything about anybody leaving Napoli, it's absolute bollocks.
Yeah, because they're going to win the league.
They're on the verge of winning the title.
8 points ahead, aren't they, or something stupid like that?
If any Napoli players leave, it'll be in the summer. They're not going to leave now.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree on that one. So the information that we basically got is Maddison is the number 1 target. We think this is our best chance to sign him. If we are going to get him, it's going to be now. The summer will be harder if we don't qualify for Champions League football. I believe Maddison wants to leave. We've seen all these interviews. Just enjoy the next 2 days, guys. So whatever comes out, just enjoy the ride. Don't get too caught up in it. Don't get too mad if things don't work out. Shelvey's off to Forest. There's a chance we're going to get a replacement for him. There's lots of names flying around. The club will not just concentrate on one person, because if that one person fails, it's harder to move on to another target. So expect them to be talking to a few clubs. And just enjoy it. It's going to be fun. It really is.
Don't listen to the local journalists who come out and say, "Oh, that's business done."
Yeah, exactly.
They don't know. If the journalist comes out and say, "I think business is done," that's just his opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And just didn't listen to them.
I am not trying to pronounce that. It's not happening. It's Cava. Right, so that's all we've got for tonight. I've got work tomorrow, but join us tomorrow night as we look ahead to the massive, massive game against Southampton, the second leg of the Cup. We're 1-0 up. We've got 1 foot in the final. We just need to get in 1 more clean sheet, and we've done it. We're in our first final for over 20 years, and it'll be absolutely amazing. We'll be on from 8:15. Please go and support Newcastle Benfield, the Lions, on Wednesday night. Paul Gascoigne's sister's son plays for them. That's him in the picture. And you never know, you might see Gaza down there because he is going to go and watch them at some point. So you might even get a chance to get a photograph with him. Please consider hitting the subscribe button, becoming a member. It really helps the channel. And then on Tuesday night, we will be doing a live watch along. Me and Gary will be on air. There might be some tears if we make it to a final. It's just going to be epic. And the last final shout out for the night to all the members of the channel who support us in a way that it's amazing to us, and it really helps us to give money to charity, to do the prizes that we do. And like I say, we've got a Warren Barton signed shirt ready to give away for February's prize. So please become a member before then, and you will be able to have your name put in the hat for it. Look what happened with Carlton. Yeah, exactly. That was on deadline day, wasn't it?
Yeah, I remember. I went to college for that.
Cool.
I was at college at the time, and either were linked, and then I was at college, and somebody said, "Oh, they've accepted it."
Yeah.
And I remember that. I remember, you know what it is? I remember that Brian Ruiz one as well. I was praying that we were going to sing Brian Ruiz. It was going on Aldi, and nothing happened.
Exactly.
But anything can change. Deadline day is a funny day because I think clubs are prepared to get rid of players, and you've got to make a split decision with it. And I tell you what, I was told as well that some clubs have got an agreement to hold players back till deadline day.
Right.
Because like these big companies, Sky and all that, want to make deadline day entertaining. So if some teams have got deals lined up, they wait till deadline day.
That does not surprise me. But yeah, I'll be live most of the day on Tuesday. I will have breaks in between it, and then we've obviously got the watch along. So, but tune in tomorrow night so we can discuss the game, and then join us on Tuesday for a marathon day. But thanks for tuning in tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. And cheers, Gary, and we'll see you all tomorrow night.